let's go to the next part here, abortion. This, again, was a very important moment during the town hall. The reason to me, Ryan, before we even play the clip, watch here how rambling, non-specific, and how twisted in knots Trump is whenever it comes to the subject of abortion. Let's take a listen.
If you are reelected and you're back in the Oval Office and you get legislation to your desk, would you sign a federal abortion ban into law?
What I'll do is negotiate so that people are happy. But the fact that I was able, I'm so proud of it. We put 3 great justices on the Supreme Court. We have almost 300 federal judges on the Supreme Court.
So just to be clear, Mr. President, you would sign a federal abortion ban into law.
I said this. I want to do what's right. And we're looking, and we want to do what's right for everybody.
But what's right?
But now, for the first time, the people that are pro-life have negotiating capability, because you didn't have it before. They could kill the baby in the 9th month or after the baby was born. Now they won't be able to do that.
But I think this is a really important question for you to answer, because this is something every Republican, including those who are running against you for the nomination, are being asked about, is would you sign a federal abortion ban into law?
And many of them are going to give you the same answer as I am. First of all, I am honored to have done what I did. And a lot of people said in 150 years, he's now the most consequential president because he saved so many lives. And I'm honored to have done it.
Honored to have done it, Ryan. Coming to a Democratic ad near you. You will watch that over and over and over and over again. And that is exactly why he's in a real bind. Do you appease the pro-lifers who want more, frankly? They want way more. They want the abortion ban. They want to go, 6-week in all these states and all that, which are not politically popular at all. And then he's not an idiot. And look, I will never psychoanalyze anyone. I'm just going to say personally, I don't believe that Trump is actually pro-life. Okay,
not.
so me personally, I don't think so.
Of course not.
I don't think that
he's not.
I don't think that he had some crazy change of heart in his 60s. I mean, I guess it's technically possible. Anyway, the point is that in his heart of hearts, at least the political one, he knows people hate this, which is why he's twisting himself like a pretzel, being like, well, I believe in the exceptions. And then the Democrats and the late-term abortion. And I'm honored to have done Roe versus Wade, but now it's up to the states. It was 2.5 minutes almost. He didn't settle on anything. And then she was like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, are you sure? Like, what about the ban? Would you sign a ban? He's like, well, we'll see. Some people have good ideas. I haven't made up my mind yet. What does that mean? You've had, what? When did Roe happen? June? Right? It's been almost a year. It's been literally 11 months since this, maybe something like that, since this has all come down. How have you not made up your mind yet? You know why? Because he has made up his mind, and he knows privately it's an electoral disaster. Anyway, so I saw that, and I was like, man, Trump, he knows this is his kryptonite for 2024.
Yeah. And not even that privately. He was fairly open, during the midterms, saying like, look, this is not going to be great for us, even though he plays such a significant role.
And then he blamed abortion for the election
he blamed
results,
the abortion.
which he was right. Yeah.
So that's why he has to, Susan B. Anthony came out recently saying that they would not endorse any candidate, very powerful organization that wouldn't endorse.
Can you explain that to people?
So
tell them who they are?
Yeah, Susan B. Anthony may be the most powerful kind of pro-life group, pro-life group in the country. And they want a national abortion ban. And they said after Trump refused to commit to one.
They're like the Planned Parenthood of pro-lifers.
Yes. Yeah. And so they came out publicly and said, we will not work for, we will not endorse, we will not support any candidate who refuses to stop killing babies.
That's right.
And so that's who's in Trump's head when he's celebrating his overturning of Roe v. Wade. But then the polls are in his head when he's refusing to kind of commit to a national ban. Later in that clip, he says, Lindsey Graham has a nice bill. And Lindsey was 15 weeks or something. Because that polls a little bit better, but it's still not.
15-week, ironically, Ryan, was actually much more popular pre-Roe, and now is much less popular. So Roe actually, well, it kind of gets to something. One of my core beliefs in politics is just don't take anything away from people. Like, once you take something away, like, it's not going to be good for you. I remember that, like Obama. Obama was like, well, we're going to take away your health care, but everybody's going to get better health care. I'm like, yeah, but you shouldn't screw with my health care, man, because I hate it. And that was, he paid a huge electoral price for it, even though, by the numbers, technically more people got health care, but it was a mess. Even I I, how many Obamacare plans you saw? My current plan is like, I have like a $19,000 deductible or something. I'm like, well, I guess I hope I don't get hit by a bus. But point with that being that a lot of people like their healthcare plan. The whole, like, if you like your doctor, you keep your doctor. Wasn't true. Well, I think that the very much the same thing kind of came with our abortion policy. Everyone's like, yeah, it's icky, but it's relatively whatever, it's done, and we'll just keep it that way.
Right, and if the 15-week ban was national in the sense that you could get an abortion up to 15 weeks anywhere in the country, then you might have a little bit more support for it. But what 15 weeks says is no,
That's the cap.
That's the cap.
That's right.
But states.
Sorry, that's the ceiling, not the floor.
Right. So other states can then make it 6 weeks or ban it completely. And so then Democrats and abortion rights advocates are like, well, we don't need that because all you're doing then is putting a 15-week abortion ban in New York and California.
Exactly. Why would a Democrat vote for that and allow cloture? Like here in Washington, D.C., I'm pretty sure that you can get a late-term abortion, like basically whenever you want. Now, I think I don't agree with that, but my point is, like, why would somebody who lives in a state who has, like, late-term abortion sign a 15-week ban? They're like, no, I'm going to campaign against this because you're basically making it so that everybody can go under if they want to, but not over if they want to. I actually kind of do believe in the whole leave it up to the states thing, because if you genuinely did leave it up to the states, quote-unquote, like, genuine no abortion would really only exist in like 4 states in the whole, maybe 5, like in the whole country, after the democratic process kind of works its way out. I think, at the end of the day, ironically, and this is what I've said, I've told this to my own pro-life friends, we probably will end up with more contraception and more abortion access in the United States post-Roe, let's say 10 years from now. Just given the way that, look at what just happened with the FDA. The FDA just approved over-the-counter birth control. That has never happened. No way that happens without Roe versus Wade.
Although there's been a pretty successful effort to close abortion clinics, and people forget about. People think about it just on a policy level and a legal level, but there's also a kind of structural, operational level that you have to have doctors who are trained to perform abortion services, and then you have to have clinics that are able to actually serve clients. And as you have the laws in all of these different states constricting them, they're closing, and that doesn't. And then you lose a lot of legacy expertise, and so for that reason, you may end up with much less, depending on how things go. But yes, in 2024, this is going to be a huge. This is going to be a huge issue.
In my opinion, this is the issue. Because, and I don't want it to be. I never wanted it. I think the more you argue about guns and abortion, the more I feel like I'm 5 years old living in Texas again. But you're the ones who overturned it, so you got to defend it, for the American people. And I think that is one where we have seen now state after state, referenda after referenda, election after election, abortion mattered so much more, frankly, than I ever thought possible, more than Crystal thought possible, maybe you too. Going into 2020, when we were all here at the desk, who thought that? When the midterm results were happening.
And throughout Trump's first term, whenever he was in a jam, if you noticed, he would turn to the evangelical movement.
Absolutely.
Those were his people.
They had his back. Yeah.
And because he loves nothing more than loyalty. Whether he agrees with you or not, I think he has complete contempt for them. But he loves the fact that they're loyal to him. And so they became his favorite people. Now I think he's bothered. He's like, what is going on here? Like, why are these people not loyal to me anymore? I gave them everything they want, because he can't get in their minds that they are just ideologically and religiously driven movement that is not stopping because it doesn't poll well.
Okay. Look, it's gonna be a bind. Been saying it now ever since the 2022 election results, and Trump's answer. You know why I find this so interesting? I respect Trump as a politician. So when I see him floundering like that, I'm like, man, you got 11 months and that's the best you could come up with?
Because there is no good answer.
This is not going to be good for you.
Because he can either do the politically smart
You're damned
thing,
if you do and damned if you don't.
which is to be for abortion rights, but he can't do that.
You can't do that.
He can't totally disavow what he did. So yeah, he's
It's going to be a tough,
in a jam.
tough gig.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.